Here's an original fanfiction version inspired by your prompt. Title: Heartbreaking Vigil. As dusk settled over Genoa City, the corridors of Memorial Hospital were unusually quiet. The silence felt heavier than words. Family members, friends, and longtime rivals gathered outside a single intensive care room, united by fear rather than loyalty. No one wanted to say what everyone was thinking. Inside the room, Nikki Newman lay unconscious, surrounded by softly beeping monitors. The woman who had survived countless battles now faced her greatest challenge. Victor Newman stood at her bedside without speaking. The powerful businessman who always had an answer suddenly found himself powerless. His hand gently rested over Nikki's. "I promised I'd protect you," he whispered. "This wasn't supposed to happen." Outside, Victoria struggled to comfort Nick, whose emotions were barely under control. Adam watched from the end of the hallway, uncertain whether he belonged with the family or apart from them. Claire quietly approached Victor. "Grandfather, everyone is here." Victor nodded but never looked away from Nikki. "Tell them to come in." One by one, the Newman family entered. Old wounds suddenly seemed insignificant. Even long-standing feuds faded beneath the reality that life could change in a heartbeat. Victoria leaned over the bed. "Mom, remember when you told me strong women never quit? It's your turn to prove it." Nick smiled through tears. "I still owe you that fishing trip." Adam hesitated before stepping forward. "I know I've disappointed you more times than I can count, but you've never stopped believing I could be better. Thank you." Victor finally broke. Tears rolled down his face as memories flooded back, their first meeting, their countless weddings, the betrayals they overcame, and every promise they made to each other. "I love you, Nicole." The room fell silent. Elsewhere, Jack Abbott learned of Nikki's condition. Despite years of complicated history between the Abbott and Newman families, he immediately left Jabot. Diane noticed his expression. "You're going." "I have to." At the hospital, Jack quietly entered the waiting room. Victor looked up. Neither man spoke for several seconds. Finally, Jack extended his hand. "This isn't about us." Victor accepted it. "No." For perhaps the first time in decades, they stood together instead of against each other. Meanwhile, Sharon arrived with Faith, while Mariah and Tessa brought flowers. Even Phyllis, despite her complicated relationship with nearly everyone present, offered sincere support. "This city wouldn't be the same without Nikki," Sharon admitted. As midnight approached, the doctor entered. Everyone immediately stood. "I have an update." The hallway became perfectly still. "The surgery was successful." Relief spread through the room. However, the next 24 hours remained critical. The celebration disappeared almost as quickly as it began. Victor refused to leave. Hour after hour, he remained beside Nikki, reading old letters she'd written decades earlier. One note caught his attention. "If we ever face impossible odds, promise me one thing. Don't stop living if I can't." Victor folded the letter. "No," he whispered. "That's one promise I can't keep." Early the next morning, Nikki's fingers moved ever so slightly. Victor immediately stood. "Nikki?" Her eyelids fluttered. The monitor's rhythm changed. Doctors rushed into the room while the family waited anxiously outside. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the physician emerged wearing a hopeful smile. "She's awake." The hallway erupted with tears, laughter, and embraces. Victor entered first. Nikki slowly opened her eyes. "You look terrible," she whispered weakly. Victor laughed for the first time in days. "I've been waiting to hear you insult me again." She smiled. "I wasn't finished." He leaned forward and kissed her forehead. "You scared all of us." "I know." Outside the room, Victoria hugged Nick. Adam quietly wiped away tears before anyone noticed. Jack smiled to himself and silently walked away. believing this moment belonged to the Newmans. As dawn broke over Genoa City, the family realized that life's greatest victories weren't won in boardrooms or family feuds. They were won by never giving up on the people you love. The heartbreaking vigil had become a symbol of hope, forgiveness, and the unbreakable bond that held the Newman family together.